You have just read about the 8 different types of intelligence outlined in the multiple intelligence theory and how they affect learning. As you watch this video, keep the following questions in the back of your mind. How can I use this information to structure my teaching? What are a few specific exercises I could try that speak to one of these intelligences? Imagine you have a class of 80 students that you alone are responsible for. There are no other teachers to help you, and the only resources you have are a book and a chalkboard. Your classroom might not even be indoors at all. Imagine you have to somehow teach all of these children about the science behind rain. How will you get them to pay attention? How will you get them to learn? One strategy you can use is to set up learning stations, each one corresponding to a different kind of intelligence, and let students pick the station and exercise that appeals to them most. Your linguistic students love reading, writing, and word games, so you can have them either read a book or article on the subject, or you can have them write a short creative story about the life cycle of a raindrop. Your logical mathematical students love reasoning their way to answers, so you have them spend a few days measuring the water in a puddle outdoors and track the rate at which the water evaporates. Then try to draw some conclusions about what causes it to evaporate at that speed. Your spatial learners love images and pictures, so you could have them draw a chalkboard mural depicting the water cycle. Your musical students love rhythms and melodies, so you could have them perform a concert all about the effects of drought on the earth in front of other students. Your interpersonal students do best when they are collaborating with others and talking about ideas, so you could have these students working together to write a comedy about the man who is always followed by a cloud that rains on him day and night. Your intrapersonal students understand concepts best independently in terms of their needs, feelings, and goals. You might ask these students to design their own project and let them be as creative as they want. Finally, your naturalist students understand things best through nature and natural forms. For these students, you might ask them to spend an hour observing clouds and try to guess if the shape or speed at which they move is any indication of whether or not it will rain. Remember, every human being possesses all 8 of these intelligence types. Some are simply more pronounced or prevalent than others. If you've spent a lot of time trying to understand the top 2 or 3 learning styles of your students, you can try assigning them to a station, or creating stations that blend 2 intelligences together, such as naturalist and reasoning. This is also a good way to start discerning the intelligence types of your students by creating these stations and then observing which ones your students tend to pick for themselves. Let's review. In this lesson, you reviewed the 8 different types of intelligence included in the multiple intelligence theory: linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalist. You learned that linguistic students think in words and love reading, writing, and telling stories. They love word games. Logical mathematical students think about reasoning and love experimenting, questioning, figuring out logical puzzles, and calculating. Spatial students think in images and pictures and love designing, drawing, visualizing, and doodling. Bodily kinesthetic learners think through the senses and love dancing, running, jumping, building, touching, and gesturing. Musical students think via rhythms and melodies and love singing, whistling, humming, tapping feet and hands, and listening. Interpersonal students think best by collaborating with others and love friends, group games, social gatherings, community events, clubs, mentors, and apprenticeships. Intrapersonal students think in relation to their feelings, their needs, and goals, and love meditating, dreaming, planning, and reflecting. And finally, naturalist students think through forms of nature and the natural world, and they love playing with pets, gardening, investigating nature, raising animals, and caring for planet Earth. Equipped with this understanding of your students and their learning styles, you can structure activities that appeal to their love of the activities listed here. Remember the questions you asked yourself at the beginning of this video. Now is a good time to answer these questions. Once you have done that, apply your answers to the themes of this video.